Good morning, brothers. I'm going to try an experiment where I try to do all the recording on my cell phone to see, well, one, if the camera's better, and two, if this is at all possible to just upload from my phone to YouTube, do my editing there, and still get this done. Okay, I have a number of things I collected over the weekend that I read and I liked and I wanted to share. So here they are. The first one is from an article in the Paris Review about Leonard Cohen, who's a poet and musician. It's called The Favorite Game. Mostly it's about Leonard Cohen and sex. This bit isn't. Okay. More importantly, maturity and good sense demands that we view each other as human beings who suffer from basically the same problems, not as enemies in a never-ending war of the sexes. We are the perpetrators of pain. We are the perpetrators of pain as well as its victims. We reject and are rejected, desire and are desired. But that knowledge doesn't lessen the joy and suffering of our innermost selves. It doesn't diminish the feelings or delight and anger. It doesn't diminish the feelings of delight and anger that seem to as though they had never been felt before. Only time diminishes them, along with experience, repetition, and age. Okay, this one I'll have to look up the source for later. It's a response to an article, I think it was in the New York Times, about how the acceptance of pop culture, and within pop culture, I think, it's been a while since I read it, the sort of dumb adult male as like a normal thing has become a big deal. And this is sort of responding to that and saying, this idea of a higher culture snob who's looking down at everybody is a boogeyman and all this stuff, which, well, sorry if I'm also a higher culture snob. I might be. Anyway, this is point 9 in the response. The only part of adulthood that really matters is the part where you finally grow up, if you ever really do. It's because you recognize that there's other people in the world and that they matter and their needs matter, and you need to set aside your self-obsession for long enough to recognize that other people's needs are often more pressing or important than yours and to act accordingly. Okay, last one. This one, Poetry is a magazine from the Poetry Association, right? Is that what they're called? Poetry Foundation. They're in Chicago. They put out a good magazine. It's kind of like a small book, and I really like it. And every year they sent me a renewal thing, and at least for the past couple of years, I don't remember if it's gone on longer than that, they lead with a quote from a William Carlos Williams, I think? Yes, William Carlos Williams' poem called Asphodel, That Grainy Flower, and it reads thus: "It is difficult to get the news from poems, yet men die miserably every day for lack of what is found there." I really like that. Right, so those are all the bits I'm going to try to jam together via YouTube. The lighting is bad when I do this with the phone in the morning. I only have the ceiling light, low ceiling light. But I get to have the bookshelf behind me. That's neat. Chicago pictures, yeah. Paul Konerko? No, we're into October now. It's Gordon Beckham. Oof. Okay. Alright, bye. Whoop. I also wanted to mention this. This is what's kept me looking not all hairy.
I'm still amazed, really, that I still absolutely love what I do.
I also wanted to mention really quickly this clippers? I think that's what they're called. It has saved me a lot of money and woolly-headedness, especially over the past few months as I'm trying to find a barber in my new neighborhood who I can, or maybe just a hairdresser in general. I might be moving away from the sort of I need a barber who does the straight razor and is some old dude and all that. Anyway, it's kept things a little bit less than fuzzy on the sides where I tend to fuzz out. So I'm glad for that. But also the whole thing cost maybe $30. So worst case scenario, I just go to a buzz cut and get haircuts for free.